What is going on, guys? Jack here and welcome to episode 78 of The Road to Glory, here with FC United of Manchester. Hopefully you guys are good. Last episode was a somewhat disappointing kind of crashing out of the FA Cup against QPR. Since the last episode, we've played 5 league games, we've won 5 league games, things are looking good. So let's go through a quick review of these matches, and then today we have Manchester City in a big tie, which isn't going to be easy at all. But anyway, first game since the QPR game, 3-0 win at home to West Brom. Really good win for us. Could have been more, but Barbosa did miss the penalty, and in fact it would have been 2 penalty goals, and I believe Barbosa's second goal was a penalty rebound anyway. But we were in control for large proportions of this game. Really dominated, good win there. We followed it up with a 4-0 win at Derby County. Barbosa getting a hat-trick this time. Glenn Stewart also getting on the score sheet, that was nice. To be honest, this game was really 50-50, but what we did well was we broke and we converted our chances well. And at the end of the day, you've got to be clinical in front of goal when you're away from home and you're not seeing that much of the ball. And we did that against Derby County. Somewhat surprise result. On the back of this, we had 2 tough league games against West Ham and Liverpool. First game, we played really well against West Ham. We were the better side. João José with the goal for us. The young Brazilian really performing well this year. He's kind of burst into the first team this year and he's performed really well. He's still only 18 or 19, so plenty of time for him to develop, but that was a really key result. And then on the back of this we had a home tie against Liverpool. Again, Barbosa getting on the score sheet. Matsui also getting a goal. That was good to see because he's not really settled into the club too well. But to give him a bit of first team football, to see him grab a goal, it's always rewarding. And 2-0 was a really solid result against Liverpool in a game that, I don't know, I feel as if we deserved to win just based on the quality of the chances we created. The final game of this kind of little sequence was another win, this time against Stoke. A really good kind of comeback. I say comeback, we scored late on to coming back from a draw and secure all 3 points. Really good performances by the entire team. Shane Barney coming up big for us. He came on off the bench with 20 minutes left. He grabbed the goal that made the difference. Good substitution. But overall, really good results. Five results, 5 wins. Today we play Man City. Looking at the league table, we find ourselves in 3rd off the back of those 5 wins. The 5 games were games that I all saw as winnable. However, I still kind of expected us somewhat to slip up against maybe West Ham or Liverpool, just because they are 2 teams in the top half of the table who were going on strong. So it was really good to see us get 2 wins in those games. If we win against Man City today, it would give us a 6-point cushion onto them in 4th. They would have a game in hand, but it would leave us in very good stead because if they win today, they will go above us on goal difference and with a game in hand. Tottenham have really struggled in this last kind of period. They're now 5th in the table. They are 12 points behind us. They do have 2 games in hand, so I guess there's only 6 points between us. But then again, they've got to win those games in hand. Tottenham, they are struggling. I mean, if you look at their fixtures, it kind of looks like the congestion of everything's got to them in terms of the Europa League and the fact they're still in the FA Cup. But they've lost their last 3 games on the bounce, including games at Stoke and Southampton, which are pretty big losses if you ask me. But no, we'll see how we get on today. It's not going to be easy. Just a quick look at recent performances. Benitez playing absolutely superbly. Really young player, absolutely superb. Really developing well as a player this year. Become a staple of the first team, and I'm really tipping him to start appearing for Argentina as first choice centre back in the future. Barbosa, as you may have noticed, has been banging in the goals for us of late. He's now got his first cap for Brazil, which is absolutely insane. Recently turned 20, but looking at his stats for the season, 15 goals, 5 assists, and 3 player of the matches in 26 games. Not too shabby, if I might say so myself, and he's playing really well. Glenn Stewart, another player worth mentioning. He always plays well, but Glenn is performing particularly well of late. Good solid performances at the back, and that's kind of really what's served us well so far this year. I mean, looking at our entire defence, the entire defence is playing well. Sergio Semper's settled into the club really nicely, obviously. He was kind of Mohamed Abou's replacement. Came in for £6 million, 9 appearances, only 1 assist, but a 7.31 average rating. Can't argue with that. Players performing really well. Just 2 things to note. Looking at this, you might be able to see I've kind of updated the view kind of layout thing. I don't know if it's too cluttered now, but I feel as if this kind of has all the information I need, because you've got Obviously, players' ages, their names, position, then their current ability and potential, last 5 games, the morale, condition, match fitness, then a few of their stats like goals and assists, average ratings are there. Oh yeah, that's their average rating across all the games, not just the last 5. Preferred for contract expiry, and then their general happiness. I don't know. I kind of feel like this layout looks quite nice. It's slightly crowded, but it has all the information I could ever need at a glance. If you're wondering how to insert columns, you just right-click along the top here, and then you insert column. I've shown that before a few times, but you know, there's lots of new guys viewing the videos. If you are new around here, welcome, and that was what my second thing was going to be. I've noticed kind of an influx in new people watching the videos, particularly over the last week or two, so I'm curious, guys, kind of, how have you found out about this series? How have you found out about this content? Even if you've been here a while, let me know, because it's kind of nice to know where people are coming from, so I know like the right people to thank. But anyway, today's game's against Man City. It's going to be a tough game. As you can see, both Bockel and Courtois are struggling for match fitness and just fitness in general. However, I've kind of got to risk them for chocolate biscuits this game because it's a huge game against Man City. And then we have a fairly easier tie at Southampton. We beat them 2-0 in the away game earlier on in the season. And then we have Chelsea. So I want to rest the players between those 2 games. And in fact, there's a nice little break in between. So I am willing to risk their fitness for this game. We'll see how we get on today. Man City, obviously, I think we beat them the last time we played them, like 2-1. So it'll be interesting to see how we get on. Prediction is it'll be a tight game, but I think FC United and Manchester will lose. Home advantage should be enough. Any landmarks? Glenn Stewart is set to make his 275th league appearance for the club. Barbosa needs 2 more goals for 25 league goals for the club. Sergio Semper is going to make his 275th league appearance. Well, there's a few bigger landmarks there, particularly the Glenn Stewart one's really pleasing to see. And on the staff front, I signed Falcao for staff because I'm Monaco. But anyway, we'll let Wayne Rooney do the instructions. Let's just tell the guys to encourage them. We're underdogs, go out there and relax. Passionate midfield, there's a lot to come from you, and I believe you have what it takes. Exactly the same for you, and the exact same for the defenders, and everyone looks happy. Let's see how we get on today. It's not going to be an easy tie, got to appreciate that, but a win here would really give us almost definitely secure us Champions League football. I know it wouldn't be mathematically impossible for us to drop out the top 4, but we're in such good form of late, and the team's performed so amazingly this year. It's kind of been a coming of age year. Suddenly players are starting to kind of perform to their potential. I can't really explain it other than that. You know, they've stepped up their game this year. There's been a lot of players who have been in this club for a few years. Players like Benitez, Pablo, been very good players, but they've never performed to kind of what their potential and their ability reflect. And this year, they've made a difference. And the sirens outside my house. One sec. I'm going to wait for them to go. It's Sega. They're coming for me again. Are we done? I promise you in the summer when I move house, it will be so much better for you guys. This mic is unbelievably sensitive. I'm actually 4 stories up in like a roof converted flat, and that's how loud it is outside. Keeps you up at night. But anyway, let's get straight on down into this. Second half, we're actually struggling here on paper. Statistically, Man City are in control of the game. So I'm going to make a tactical change, and I'm going to mix things up here in a pretty odd manner, but I'm hoping it'll pay off for us. I'm going to take off Courtois, who's booked, because he has a reputation of getting like booked and stuff. I'm going to move Samper and Carson into centre mid. And we're basically going to try and crowd out their kind of clustered midfield, and then try and hit them on the break, and get players like Moyano on the ball. So I'm going to go slightly more direct and slightly wider. Slightly narrower even. And we're going to sit slightly more defensively. Not going to use the playmaker, but we are going to use the target man, which is Moyano, and we're going to go to mixed. And I think we'll go with that. Zonally, we'll really be able to crowd out the midfield, I think, here. So we'll see how we get on. Doing a few tactical changes. Hopefully, you're going to kind of close down their team, because they're playing like a 4-2-3-1 in terms of their midfield, really crowding us out like narrowly. It's going to be important that we kind of, I guess, counter them. And wow, Samper gets injured. Oh god, I'm in problems here. I'm in problems. That's not proper English. Ugh. Yeah. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Moyana's also taken a knock, so we'll bring on Shane Barney. And then I'm going to bring on João Jose or Warner. I'm going to go with João Jose. He's turned up big for the club at times. I think he got a goal against these guys before. Don't quote me on that. We're going to go with this. Park the bus, hit on the counter. You guys know the drill. We'll see how we get on here. It's not going to be easy. I've not got many centre mids on the bench, and obviously with me doing the sub earlier, taking off Courtois, I lost my only centre mid whose kind of natural position is there. So along with the rejigging formation, try and park the bus, try and get a point here. It would be a good result, all things considering, and Man City have been all over us, and we just have to defend one last attack here. One last push to defend, and that should be it. We've done well. Benitez, the rock at the heart of the defence. Superb performance by the entire team. Really good hard-earned draw there. We parked the bus in the second half. We were trying to play the counter-attack. I tried to play our normal game to begin with, and it just wasn't working. So crowd out the defensive midfield area and the defence. Try and just eliminate any space that their attacking players were finding. And as you can see, our defence performed really well, and we've got a hard-earned point, and that point keeps us ahead of Man City, which is another kind of important thing to do. There's 2 games left of the season that are big games. There's actually only 6 games left. The 2 games we have left are Chelsea and Arsenal. I think they'll probably be the 2 games I commentate. Who knows? Maybe we'll have Champions League football by then. I need to look at the league and kind of see what's happening in terms of the league. Man City would still go above us if they win their game in hand, but it's a good point. It's a very good point, and it keeps us in the Champions League spots comfortably. Spurs have a lot of games left. They have 9 games left, so they still have 27 potential points. So 4 points would be enough, I believe, to get us safe. That might not be right now I look at my math, though. That's definitely not right. But essentially, there's still a chance for us to do well. Looking at Spurs' next games, they've got very tough ties. They've got Chelsea, then they've got West Ham and Man City. West Ham aren't a bad team, and then they've got Arsenal as well. So there's 4 games there for them. Their games in hand are big games. Ideally, it'd be nice to see them draw against the likes of Man City and Chelsea, but we can't really choose how their results are going to go. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode as always. This has been episode 78 of The Road to Glory. If you've got any comments with regards to the series, as always, leave them down below. Let's see if we can get 30 likes on today's video. Pretty big result there against Man City. And I think that's just about everything, guys. So, other than that, it's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.